This week's best MMA bets, we're talking UFC Vegas 93. I'm going to give you guys my lock of the week, my most confident picks on the card, favorite underdogs. We'll talk Degen Props of the night, parlays, and then we'll close it out with the Degen Parlays. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn the post notifications on, and make sure you share the video as well. Last week, Jared Cannonier was a fumble as far as the locks went. It was an absolute L. Either way, it seemed like it was falling apart in that fourth round when Imavov really badly rocked Cannonier, but the referee stoppage was terrible. I have some argument I can make. Wait, what if Cannonier would have came on really strong in the fifth? But I do live in reality and recognize there was a total shift of momentum in that fourth round, and it seemed like Imavov was en route to pulling off a W. Still an inconclusive fight. Still a fight I'd actually be open to the idea of being ran back immediately to get a more absolute answer to who's the better man. But it's a loss. And I went underdog. I went main event. And I think I went a little too ballsy with that. So this week, I have something that I think perfectly fits my lock criteria with confidence. So without further ado, we're jumping right into it. The lock of the week.
Here is Garrett Armfield!
Garrett Armfield over Brady Hiestand is going to be my lock of the week. I think Garrett Armfield can definitely do more damage to Brady Hiestand. I feel like in the striking department, Armfield's boxing will be pretty on point here. I can see him hurting Brady. I think Brady could potentially time a couple takedowns, but I have a hard time seeing him garnering significant control time off of Garrett Armfield, who's got pretty good get-ups, not a horrible wrestler in his own right, and definitely an active guy from bottom. He's looking to get right up to his feet. He's got a lot of potential in this game. He's a well-rounded guy. I think that at 27 years old, Garrett Armfield with 2 years on Hiestand age-wise, that's 2 years of experience and maturity. I really believe Garrett Armfield has skills that can go like fairly far in the game. At 135, he's super young. He's got good reach. He's at, what, a 70-inch reach to Hiestand's 71, but Hiestand doesn't box to the level of Armfield. I think Armfield can land some clean shots. I think Armfield in a competitive grappling battle with Hiestand will do more damage. Wouldn't blow my mind if Garrett Armfield also took Hiestand down and ended up on top too. So I'm going with Garrett Armfield as the lock this week. Now, he's not a crazy underdog or anything like that. Instead, I'm going with the mentality of true confidence in a guy with quality skills at a Moneyline bettable tag. Minus 180 for Garrett Armfield to win. That's the money line. Decision is plus 185 with over 2.5 sitting at minus 185. I expect this fight to go long. I'm picking Armfield, and I'm going decision as the official method of victory prediction. I feel like even last time, the Bategro fight for Brady Hiestand, he was losing a lot of that fight. He came on late, but his opponent broke. Garrett Armfield's not going to break. And Armfield did okay against David Onama in the striking. He has 2 of his 3 losses are pro to David Onama. Last time he beat Brad Katona, who's a 2-time Ultimate Fighter winner. I see him in a good spot here, beating Brady Hiestand and continuing his climb up the ranks as a decent prospect. So give me Garrett Armfield to pull through. I'm picking him as this week's lock. Let's jump into the most confident picks. I'm going to list them all out, and then we're going to talk about each one. Nate Maines, Timothy Cuamba, Asu Almabayev, and Ikram Aliskerov. I think they're good calls. I think all of them are good calls. I feel pretty good about each one of them. Now, odds-wise, yes, they're not all money lineable. Cuamba's the most money lineable at minus 200. Nate Maines is a minus 500 favorite, okay? He's probably going to get a knockout. That's minus 210. Almabayev is minus 600. The sub is minus 110, but no, Jose Johnson has a decent grappling skill set. He's not an absolute bum when fights hit the floor, but I do think the reason Jose Johnson's going to struggle a lot in this fight is because he closes distance and fights like a shorter man. He doesn't use his range as he should, especially against Almabayev. If he ties up in close, he's on his ass consistently. And Aliskerov is going to destroy Trocolio. Under 1.5 is minus 200. The money line's minus 1,200, but under 1.5 at minus 200 is quality. I think all of these are coming through. I see Nate Maness destroying Jimmy Flick and knocking him out. I think it's going under 1.5 at minus 200. I think he's getting the KO. I think Cuamba's going to end up knocking out Lucas Almeida, who's chinny, who, in my opinion, lacks head movement substantially. He's very upright and tall. And he also wouldn't have the grappling to deal with Cuamba. Cuamba can time takedowns, too. He's a well-rounded guy. Cuamba's got a ton of potential, man. He's going to body Lucas Almeida. Almabayev, the wide-ass line, and like there's positive things to say about Jose Johnson. He's a 6-foot-tall flyweight, but this is his first time at flyweight. He's a former bantamweight. He's got a good skill set, and he's a tricky fight for Almabayev, and I understand people are kind of high on the dog side of Johnson because of, in all honesty, a mismarked line. It could easily be minus 300 Almabayev. That would be more sensible, but I'm not going to pick Jose Johnson just because of it. I think he's going to end up on his back. Almabayev submitted Ode Osborne. Jose Johnson, a similar frame to a guy like Ode Osborne, just like substantially, the length edge on him and the height. And then Aliskerov Trocolio is not even really a fight. Aliskerov is probably going to absolutely destroy Trocolio with like relative ease. I really don't think that it's any bit competitive. I don't think Trocolio has a shot in hell to win this fight. I think Trocolio is going to get absolutely destroyed. Now, I'm going to add an honorable mention. This is something that I've been wanting to add in for a while, and I'm going to continue to do it. I know everybody is riding the side of Joshua Van as a dog. I see a lot of hype, but I have been very successful backing Tagir Ulanbekov. He's a minus 220 favorite with a lot of experience. I do think he's live to beat Joshua Van. So little honorable mention, but not one that is an official most confident pick. But I felt as though, how can I not mention the OV, especially because you're going to see Ulanbekov in a parlay towards the end of the show. The most confident picks, that's all of them laid out. I definitely feel like there's going to be chalky lines with the high confidence, but there are some quality parlays that can, be put together magically as well. Now, I'm going to jump to the favorite underdog section, but I'm going to tell you guys, I don't love the money lines that much of Nordin-Beke or Giudice because Nordin-Beke's, I think he can beat Melquizio Costa at plus 165. It might be worth a stab on it. But Melquizio Costa is not an awful jiu-jitsu fighter, and he is pretty long, and he uses his range pretty well. He's got good kickboxing. Nordin-Beke's got more power and more physicality, and he's a live underdog at plus 165. And Giudice, unproven girl, taking on a one-trick pony in Fernandez. Maybe Giudice can pull through at plus 135. I think she can win, but I felt it's mostly a coin flip fight. So is it really worth throwing substantial cash down on Giudice, a low-confidence ladies underdog call? Maybe not. Nordin-Beke, it makes more sense. But Melquizio Costa is still a young guy with potential. And Nordin-Beke is not a perfect fighter. He's a bit flawed. He's okay. Nordin-Beke's got some power. He's got decent wrestling, but he's not exceptional anywhere. I still believe, if you're on Nordin-Beke, I'm not trying to scare you off of it, but be sensible with this underdog attack because it's a Nordin-Beke line. He's not an elite fighter. He's not surging on the come up. He doesn't do anything exceptional. But what I will tell you is there is a close money line call that's extremely valuable, which I'm going to add in as an extension to the favorite underdogs. I'm also going to add in the value money line. It's Miles Johns. I'm pretty confident Miles Johns wins. I couldn't put him in the most confident pick section just because even though they're more chalky on some of those lines, I'm not doing it just odds based. It's all confidence. I do like Miles Johns money line though. I think Miles Johns money line is live. Silva de Andrade is 38 years old. Miles Johns has knockout power. He's on a 3-fight win streak. I mean, he has a no contest to Dan Argueta, but he's really on a 3-fight win streak. I think Miles Johns is so live to win, and I really like minus 125, and I think he's actually extremely live to pull through. If you're looking at Miles Johns, maybe you're thinking Johns to win by decision. That could also be live as well, and I'll bring up the decision line. I have it right in front of me. Johns to win via decision here sits all the way up at plus 160, which is not bad. I know Miles Johns got popped, though. And we've seen Silva de Andrade slow down against Cody Stamann. Got hurt in that fight. He could get knocked out here. Johns by KO plus 500. He's got the power to do it. So that's why I don't love the props as much. The money line is everything. The money line is what I'm really mentioning. I'm just talking about props. Give me Miles Johns. I'll put him in as the value money line on this favorite underdog section because he's more of a proven, reliable guy as opposed to the other two. Not that the other two aren't going to win. I'm picking them to. But I'm just recognizing the reality in front of us. Those are my favorite underdogs plus an exclusive value money line that I added in because I felt I owed you guys one because I personally just didn't love the underdogs that much. Let's talk about the props. Degen props of the night. They're not the most Degen at all, but they're just honest. Saragi's going to win by KO. He's minus 200. It's probably going under 1.5. That's minus 285. Josephine Knudsen is probably going to win. She's a, favorite as far as the money line, upwards of minus 200, minus 185, but you can get plus, or you actually, no, it's not even plus. What? Damn, I'm just looking at it here. It's not plus money. It's minus. It's a negative tag. What do we got? Knudsen by decision. I want to make sure I got it written down properly. Minus 135. I do think Knudsen wins a decision. I think these girls go over 2.5 at minus 350. That makes a ton of sense. Now, there's a 50-50 fight on this card, and this is a risky one. Quinlan by KO. I'm calling it plus 150. It's a prediction, but damn, I'm not moneylining Josh Quinlan, and I'm not putting him in as a value bet either. I think this fight goes under 2.5, which is minus 140. So some decent calls with the props. Degen prop section, but it becomes, again, Degen-ish, more so props / some value on the lines with a little over-under action. Obviously, the ladies fight going long makes a lot of sense, but like Judice and Fernandez, that could be a risky one to play the over in because those girls like to strike. And Fernandez got pop, but Judice got skill on the feet. So decent little lines, some ideas to throw out with the Degen prop section. I want to jump to the next segment. I want to talk about the parlays, okay? Let me pop out the Zin. Popping out the Zin during the parlays is good luck. Asu Amabayev, Ikram Aliskerov, and Timothy Cuamba is minus 105, and I think that's fairly safe. Safe-ish, I wrote down, which means it's very live. Cuamba and Armfield plus 135. Another one that I think hits. It's a lock, and it's a high confident pick. That's not an awful money line at plus 135. Now, Saragi and Cuamba, this is an alternate call at minus 105. I would say it's safe-ish. Saragi was not included in the most confident pick section, but I think Weston Wilson is not good, and Saragi easily could have been an honorable mention in that section. Just his unprovenness and Weston Wilson's awkwardness, it could cause for some weird shit to happen, but probably not. Ulanbekov, Almeida, and Aliskerov, minus 112. We got the OV-EV parlay. The OVs and EVs been killing it lately, and I think there's a great chance this comes through. Now, Aliskerov, Nate Maines, Asu Amabayev, and Garrett Armfield, plus 143. I think that's exceptionally live. Nate Maines, Ikram Aliskerov, Timothy Cuamba, and Garrett Armfield at plus 205. I think is live AF. I think it's got a good chance coming in at that 2-to-1 range. And now, these two train together. Garrett Armfield and Miles Johns. I love that they're training together leading up to this fight. Both bantamweights, both on the come up, both on win streaks, together at plus 180. That's my valuable call. I actually think it's going to be a good idea. I think Armfield wins a hard decision, and I think Johns pulls through as well. I'm picking Johns officially decision, but he does have the power where he could hurt Douglas Silva de Andrade. It's this Andrade is not a chinny fighter by any means. It's just that he's 38. He's slowed a bit. Plus 180 on the money lines on both sides. I like it. I like it a lot. Johns, Armfield, Maines, Cuamba, and Aliskerov. Again, it's more of a value. Big plus money tag. Plus 446. But I do think it has a chance to come through. Johns, Armfield, Nate Maines, Cuamba, and Ikram Aliskerov. Plus Asu Amabayev. Plus 555. Lucky number 555s on your slate. I think at more than 5-to-1, you're very live to pull through. I think there's a real good chance that it happens, man. I think there's a real great shot for it all. I like this one a lot because you got high confidence picks, okay? You have the side of Miles Johns in your lineup, who's a value call, and then you have all the confidence sweepers, plus 555. I think it's live to hit. Those right there are the parlays. The next section is the Degen parlays. This is degeneracy at its finest. You're going Cuamba by KO, Nate Maines by KO, Asu Amabayev, Ikram Aliskerov, and Garrett Armfield, plus 713. I think Maines is going to destroy Jimmy Flick and knock him out. Cuamba should knock out Lucas Almeida too. Big plus money on that one. Now, same slate, but you add in Miles Johns. So you got Armfield and Johns at the end of it, plus 1364. You got plus 1,000 or more on that one. Now, if you're looking to really go mad, you like everything, but you want to add more. Saragi should win by KO. He should absolutely starch Weston Wilson. That is plus 2,100. Now, you guys know my style, though. I don't want to leave you without, one, off the top of the dome. Something I didn't write out beforehand. Something here live. Miles Johns, okay? Timothy Cuamba, and we're putting Tagir Ulanbekov, Nate Maines, okay? We're adding more steam to it. Ikram Aliskerov. See, it's only plus 412 with all of them together. If I was doing the last section, that would actually be fabulous. I actually think that's a really good call. Now, I got to add in heat, though. I can't do it like a bitch. Put in Shailan Nordenbeke to get you to plus 1,200. And then if you want to add the lock, Garrett Armfield, plus 2,000 with that one. And I think we have to risk it for the fucking biscuit. How else can I do it? I'm looking at everything. It's like, what magic can I add? I don't want to add in Judice. I don't want to add in Quinlan or Fugit. But what I will add in is the under 2.5 on Fugit Quinlan. It's live, plus 36.10. That one's live. I'm going to take it out and do another one. Take out that under because the Fugit Quinlan fight is just playing with fucking fire. Tatsuro Taira in the main, plus 31.51 if you added him in. Now, if you don't like the underdog, Shailan Nordenbeke, but you just ride with Johns, Cuamba, Ulanbekov, Maines, Aliskerov, Armfield, Taira, you got plus 11.27. And then I'm also trying to find one with Knutsen's over. We got to find the over. It's minus 350. So adding in the Knutsen over to your lineup now adds plus 1483. If you also like Jekka Sadegi, you got plus 1935 for a live action on the spot Degen parlay that isn't prop based. If you want to add in those same props to it too, because you're a madman, you'll probably start breaking out the big plus, 10,000 mark. Let's see if I can do it. Fuck it. I'm going to add in Cuamba by KO as opposed to his money line. Cuamba by knockout on there instead is plus 39.02. And if you also throw the side of Nate Maines to win by KO as opposed to his money line, let's do it. Nate Maines by KO. Let's see if I can find it here. Maines by knockout. Is it available? Damn, not every spot has it written down. Hold on. We're going to find it. We're doing it on the fly. I like the on the fly parlay. Maines by KO sits at minus 210. Let me find a minus 210 that can fill in to give us an idea of where everything's at. You got plus 4,786 if you add the Maines by KO side. So you got some chaos with this one for sure. Be intelligent. Don't bet like a madman, but if you're throwing in some of these parlays, maybe you're adding Saragi by KO. Saragi by KO, it's not a great line. It's minus 200, but again, it's live. I'll put him in real quick. Now you're in the plus 7,000 range. So chaotic, wild, but confident nonetheless for that crazy-ass Degen call. Those are the calls. Those are the Degen calls. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Best MMA Bets. I'll be honest, I'm feeling great about the lock, the most confident picks, and the value call. As far as the underdogs go, certainly live to win for sure, but just not necessarily like my favorite confidence-wise. And I got to be honest. I'm honest with my people. I appreciate you all for watching. Smash the like button if you haven't. If you're new, subscribe it up with the post notifications turned on. Daily content coming on the channel. You don't want to miss it. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know what you thought in the comments. W if you got nothing to say, but definitely drop your favorite bets and locks. I appreciate you all. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.